Hey guys, completely unscripted. I just wanted to put my thoughts down on the Revo 1, which is the boat you see sitting behind me. I managed to organize a trip up to Durban at the last minute and did the King of the Bay race this morning. And Revo hooked me up with a Revo 1. For those of you that don't know about Revo, Revo's got three models. The Revo 1, which is what's behind me, also called the R1. That's their weapon, their fastest boat. There's the R2 intermediate boat and the R3, which is also intermediate, but definitely with a tendency towards those looking for a bit more stability. But today we're talking about the R1, and the biggest thing with the R1 is it's a weapon. This is a really fast boat. This is a boat for people who really know how to pedal, who have no balance issues. And people have been asking me about it all day, and I found myself giving the same analogy each time, which I want to share with you now. And this is a high velocity rifle. This is a weapon. And if you're learning to shoot a gun, by the way, I know nothing about guns, so this might be completely off topic. But if you're looking to shoot a gun, I would imagine you don't put a high velocity sniper style rifle into a beginner's hands and expect them to be able to master it. It's the same with this boat. This is a fast, high level, advanced to elite level boat. I mean that in terms of stability. It is not a stable boat. Regardless of what you may have heard, in my opinion, this is not a stable boat. It's not an unstable boat for those with the right skills, and you certainly get the reward from a speed point of view. It's this. You need to know what you're doing to pedal this boat, and I definitely say it would be suited to less challenging conditions in terms of balance, but that would be related to your balance skills for sure. But this boat's fast. So let's get on to some of the boat's characteristics. It's really what I want to share with you this morning, and we'll have a quick look through the boat as well when I'm done. But when you jump into this boat, it's a pleasure. The cockpit is in for my money, and I'm full disclosure, I am involved with Revo to some extent, kind of as a consultant, which means I've been giving them a really hard time of late to try and get their product up to scratch, and I think they've got there. I'm pretty darn satisfied with what I pedaled this morning. But full disclosure, I am involved with Revo, but at the same time, my role with Revo is to be objective and to be a thorn on their side to get things sorted out, and I think they've managed to get there. So this cockpit is just superb. It is the most ergonomically perfect cockpit I've ever sat in. I still go numb with numb leg. I go numb leg on everything. I get numb leg when I'm sitting on the floor in my house. But this is the most comfortable cockpit. There's no other boat that I can leg drive as strong in as the Revos. And that cockpit, by the way, is not limited to the Revo 1. It's the same cockpit, different widths, but the same ergonomics for all three of their models. And for me, it's absolutely amazing. Their footplate is super stiff. Their footplate adjustment system is amazing. Phenomenal cockpit, really great leg drive, really comfortable. You really feel like you're sitting in a great boat. This boat's fast. It's really fast. It goes. This boat, I think, in calm conditions, calm to medium conditions, is probably faster than the Fen Elite S, but speed is subjective to stability and conditions and skill level and so forth. So it's tough to say. Let me say this: it is as fast as the Fen Elite S in flat conditions, and personally, I think it's probably got an edge on speed, as long as you keep the stability about it. The Elite S is more stable. I will confess to that straight away, but I think the compromise here is perhaps this is a faster boat. So that's one of the things that stood out for me. The next thing that stood out for me is this thing wash rides incredibly well. Every boat, when you get onto the sweet spot on the diamond or you're on side wave, every boat, the amount of effort that you need drops off. This boat's remarkable though. It's dropping off another, I don't want to put a figure to it, but if I had a guess, maybe another 10% further than anything else I'm used to. And if you've got that sweet spot, it just glides along. I think this boat's got a lot of rocker, and I think that's got something to do with it. And it sits there, and you really aren't putting any effort in. If you can put this boat in the right place on the diamond, you're going to get sucked along with very little effort, and when it comes to putting the hammer down at the end of the race, you're going to have something left in the tank. So that was probably the biggest thing that stood out for me on this boat. Taking the pull, putting the hammer down, and trying to get out front, it's as fast as every other elite boat out there. This boat gets up and goes, and I think it's probably a little bit quicker, but it's real magic sitting on the wash. That would be it. The conditions I've paddled this boat in the race today for 2 hours, and yesterday morning for about an hour and a half. Both times the sea was incredibly flat, absolutely flat like a lake. You could have had a K1 out there. So I don't really want to comment on its rough water ability because I just haven't had it in those conditions. But on the conditions I had now, it was absolutely superb. Really enjoyed this boat, but as I say, it's for the guys who know how to paddle. If you're top of the game, you're looking to win your age category, you're looking to get on the podiums and be really competitive, this is your boat. If you're looking just to go for a Sunday stroll, I'd look at the Revo 2, the R2 or the R3. But let's have a quick squiz of the boat. Let me take you through a couple of things. First of all, this boat's absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to flip the camera around now and just give you a bit of a walkthrough on the boat. So the Carbon R1 final product, it's an absolute thing of beauty. It is absolutely gorgeous. The paintwork is fantastic. This is the standard paintwork you get with Revo. You can have almost any color you want, but it is in this layout. Let me take you through the rudder here. This is amazing. As you can see, I've got a tiny little sprint rudder on the boat for today's race. It was dead flat. Hope you can see that. But if I didn't want the sprint rudder, I can just push the tab forward. Oh. Push the tab forward like that. Sorry, I was a bit, they've changed the system, so I'm new to it. Push the tab forward, there it is. I can just push down, drop the rudder out. There's the rudder. Revos come with 3 rudders, so you can change your rudder and slide the new one in as easy as that. It is straightforward. There's the boat, super sexy. 2 storage options. We've got the back storage option, kind of a la Epic, made that famous. And then we've got the front storage option as well. For juice bottles, cell phones, things like that. They spent quite a lot of work putting the pull strap together. I like that. I had quite a lot of input there. I wanted to watch a strap that I can put my watch on and it's not going to flop down. And in life-saving start, I wanted to jump in and be able to hook my feet in there really quickly and not have a strap that's flapping around and getting in my way. The adjustment system hasn't fully set up on this boat. There's normally a bungee system in front, but given that this boat was rushed out to me at the last second, that's not there. This little, what I'm calling the tampon string, is the unlocking mechanism. You can unlock it and simply just slide the, oh, I can't show you, I need 2 hands to get that done. I think there's a little bit of sand in the mechanism from today's race, but that just slides backwards and forwards. You can adjust the seating while you're paddling. I've done it, it works. It's amazing. There's the bung sitting on top of the boat. And this is kind of the paddler's view. I'm sitting in the cockpit right now, and that's what you see. An absolutely needle nose. It gives you the impression in your head that you're going fast. So it makes you fast mentally to match being fast physically. Pretty cool. But there's the boat as a whole, sitting there. So there's one of the big things about Revo is the hull shape. So let's just put this on its side and have a look at the hull shape quickly. So there you can see Revo's got a hard edge. So this boat's just been paddled, it's been on my roof racks, there's a bit of grime on it, so ignore that. But you can see this hard edge, what they call a chine, which makes it quite unique. And you can see that this chine runs all the way through to the tail. On the R2 and the R3, this chine is actually quite pronounced. It actually protrudes, it sticks out. But on the R1 we've softened it a little bit to try and make the boat a little bit more predictable, because it's a narrow boat already. We didn't want to add to any unpredictability that the rails do give the boat. The benefit of the rails though is downwind speed is quite significant, and it actually adds to a bit of stability in the lower end of the speed range as well. But those are my thoughts on the Revo 1, the R1 as they call it. And yeah, I'm really chuffed. I'm heading back to Cape Town in a couple of days time. Unfortunately I won't be taking one of these with me. I'm heading back to my Fen Elite S, which I absolutely love. It's an amazing boat, and I'm probably the world standard for boats right now. But between you and I, and you perhaps being in the entire Surfski world, I think on a calm to medium conditions day, I'm going to really be missing this Revo. I think this Revo is going to give, in those conditions, going to give a real edge. And that's just, I think, why I say medium conditions, limited by my skill level. I think with those with the skill level and the balance level to handle a real weapon of a boat in the rougher conditions, it's going to really pay off for them as well. But Revo's come a long way. If you paddled one of the early prototypes and you made your opinion there, I really recommend you check out one of these new Revos. One of the things they've done is drop the seat by, I think it's 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters maybe. It's made it much more stable. This boat's not stable, as I've said a couple of times, but it's a completely different boat to anything that's come prior to the last 2 months. So if you're looking for a new boat, if you're considering a boat, check this one out. If you paddle one of the early Revo prototypes, I really, strongly recommend you check this one out as well, and rethink any decisions or perceptions you may have had about that boat back then if they weren't the best, because they were a little unstable to start with. But this is a truly world-class boat. It's a piece of art. It looks amazing. It paddles really, really, really well. I was super stoked with this. The foot plates, as I've said, the cockpit, it's got everything's really well thought out. Everything's beautiful, and it looks amazing. But those are my thoughts on the R1, and I hope that's of value to you. I have spent some time on the R2 recently, not too much time, and I don't have one in my possession, but hopefully I'll share some thoughts with you about that boat as well. That is also a remarkable boat. Not as quick as this, but seriously quick still. It's definitely an upper intermediate to advanced boat in terms of speed, and probably intermediate to slightly advanced in terms of stability. On the intermediate continuum, I'd put it intermediate up a little bit. But enough about the R2. Check out this R1. Superb boat, absolutely superb. I'm in love with this boat. Thanks, guys.